Hello everybody, today I'm going to bring you a review of 3 Scale 118 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptors by Motormax. Now these cars are very common, they're pretty cheap, you can find them all over the place in many different liveries, many different colors, and there's also a large aftermarket, I say aftermarket kind of like a full scale car because it is sort of aftermarket, parts that you can find on eBay and specialty websites that are focus on the design of police cars. So this is actually in response to a review. I showed this particular Ford Crown Victoria in a review, and I got some requests to actually see it up closer. Now this, I have sort of done a review like this in the past. It was actually with my Ford, it was an Asheville livery, Asheville, North Carolina police car. But that was a while ago, so I think it's time to revisit this. And I'm going to throw in some more information considering that I already did this review on modifications. Now, the beauty about these cars is that because they're so cheap and so widespread, they're everywhere, you can get the parts very cheaply. For instance, these right here I purchased off of policecarmodels.com, which I would recommend because they have done very well in the past with me as far as lights go and buying parts. Very good customer service there. And I just popped off the old ones and threw on new ones. So that being said, that this particular model is not stock in many ways. As I said briefly in my prior video, I added the spotlight. You can see there's 2 colored lights on the mirror, the GPS, as well as a push bar, license plates, wheels, and on the inside there is a laptop. So very easy to modify. You can throw things in there, but otherwise it's basically a normal Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor by Motormax. Although, because I changed the wheels, the year actually changes of the vehicle. See, pretty dull engine as far as color goes. Absolutely no color at all. And I have made some modifications to engine color on my Asheville police car. I have not done so yet with these ones, but you can see they're all the exact same thing. These are all the same car underneath. And it's actually very similar to the green light that actually I can reach for it now. This guy right here, the lighted green light Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. Same thing, same model underneath, all the same components. Now what differs between some of these cars is, in order to make it a little bit more realistic, sometimes they don't have certain components like this highway patrol car, and as well as this Vancouver police car, does not have the guard in the center to separate the driver from the criminals, I should say, in the back. Although they wouldn't necessarily be criminals yet, innocent until proven guilty, right? So there's some minor differences. And also, one thing I want to point out, if you're looking to getting new wheels, especially the dog dish, now they look really cool, especially on this black car. I would recommend getting this pattern. And if you look closely between this and this one right here, they are actually different. You can see that the one on the right is actually just a regular Ford Crown Victoria wheel, the old livery, except it's colored in. It doesn't look quite as realistic as this one right here. Now, I'm not totally sure where policecarmodels.com actually got these aftermarket wheels. I don't think they were made specially for it because I bought them for $6, so if they were made specially, I imagine they'd be a lot more expensive. But anyway, if you are looking to do that, I would recommend going with these ones because they look the most realistic and very cool once you get them on. That being said, taking the wheels off can be a little bit risky because you don't want to damage the wheel. The way that I found was the easiest was I just took both my fingers underneath and just pulled outways. Definitely don't want to be lifting from the bottom. You want to try to get as much of the wheel as possible behind, or as much of your fingers behind the wheel as possible, and then you kind of pull outward, and that hopefully won't break it. And it's really difficult on the front. In fact, in order to get these off, I actually removed the front suspension components and the steering module. You can see this part, you unscrew these two screws, it comes right off, and it allows you to get a little bit better access to the wheel, allowing you to pull it off. Now, with this modification, I'm going to switch from the wheels to the push bar. This push bar, again, bought it at policecarmodels.com. It did not come with the car, although some Ford Crown Victorias do. You can see the gun just fell out of the trunk. I disconnected that. It is there. See, this is actually fastened to the model. You could see, right against the plastic here. So that was actually designed to be on there. Same thing with this slightly different style model for the California Highway Patrol. It has the speaker on the front, but it's still connected versus this, which I added on later. It's slightly lower than the other ones, but it still looks really, really good. And I just put a dab of glue on the bottom, and it's holding it in place quite nicely. So, oh, of course, I forgot to mention the fact that this grille is not stock. That was actually also added by me. And it was also added in this one and in the case of this. It gives the police car a little bit more of a modern look, and I'll show you the difference. I'll pull up the green light. There we go. See, this actually a little bit different from, so this is the new model. I think it was 2001 and after, and this was prior to 2001 that I had this design. It looks pretty nice. Both of them have their advantages. I personally prefer this. So yet another thing you can do to modify your cars. Now, another great thing about these police cars is underneath. Now, I'm not going to take them apart. It takes a little while to do that, but they're very easy to take apart. And as I mentioned briefly earlier, you can just you unscrew that and that. All the screws underneath, and you can get access to all the internals, which you'll find actually allows for you to lay wires down. And as you can see in the back here, there is a battery along with a little let's see if I can find it. Yes, a little switch that's kind of stuck in there. And if we go on the bottom, I actually drilled a hole in which I can turn the lights on. So you got lights on there. And this changes the pattern. Now, if you'd like me to do a more in-depth review on the lights themselves, I'd be happy to do that. It can be a little bit tricky to actually put on. It isn't that bad, but if it's the first time you've done that, it can be a little bit cumbersome. So it's important to keep in mind. Now again, that's not a stock option on this car, but it just kind of adds to it, makes it look really cool. This one also has it that my brother just installed quite a while ago. The rotator pattern looks really cool. It even has the traffic advisor on the back. This one does not have anything yet. This one, of course, comes stock with the lights. And if I press the button, you'll actually be able to get a sample of that. Now you can see this has the headlights, the headlight flashers. This one in the back also does. These have not been installed. It's a little bit more tricky to do. I'm actually sort of a beginner myself, so I haven't went far with that. As far as money-wise, I'm not ready to go and spend a ton of money on the lights themselves. They can get expensive. So that's basically these cars. Now, if you want to see a more extended review into the actual quality of the vehicles, I spent most of my time in this video talking about the modifications because I think that's probably one of the most important things when you're buying these Crown Vics. That's typically what people do. But if you're just looking to buy it to sit on your shelf. They're one of the very few Crown Vics that you can actually get other than the Autoward version, which actually does appear to have a similar design to these. It actually looks like they had the same mold, but the quality is a lot better than it's seen on these Motormax ones. But the price also reflects that. The Autoward you'd be spending about $80 on or more versus these Motormax, which cost about 24 to 28 US dollars. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful. I know I threw a ton of information at you, and if you'd like to see the more in-depth review of the quality, I suggest checking out my video linked in the description, and that will be the Asheville police car. Alright, so that's all. Thanks for watching.